Record.
Okay, am I on? Wait. Hello?
Are you recording?
Yes.
Cool. Hey everybody. It's the first ever Zoom episode of the ZaneBerryPodcast featuring the Nothing Podcast with Nick Johnson.
Yeah.
This is
the return of Nothing. Oh, wait. You know what? I just realized. Give me.
Oh, are you wearing your mask?
Yeah, dude, this is a little dangerous, okay? I haven't hung out with a lot of people recently, man. This is really, I just got to be safe, okay?
That's really smart of you because 6 feet is one thing, but even through the interweb, we might be giving each other coronavirus.
Yeah, they say when you're talking in a Zoom call, you're about 3 feet apart. So, we're just putting our lives at risk here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude. I was kind of concerned that you wearing that mask would make the audio sound really muffled, but you actually sounded kind of normal there. So really,
this has done nothing other than just made it harder for you to sync audio later.
Yeah, really, this is up to you. Oh yeah. Take that off. I don't want to have to. I started this habit where I try to laugh away from the mic because I realize my laughs just kind of destroy the audio quality immediately.
That's good mic etiquette.
And I have my laptop on top of a book right now because I realized if I'm using this camera footage, then I'm just going to be hunched the entire time. I think you're probably approximately right here. I might be holding you right now in the future. How you doing, bud? How's your quarantine over there? I see you're proud to be a 2020 grad sign down there.
Yeah, I graduated, I guess. That was weird.
Wow. So did that just happen?
Yeah, it literally happened on Monday.
Okay, cool. Congratulations.
Thanks.
I think somewhere in my head I thought you already did that. But then that doesn't make any sense because you were the president of the AFA. Yeah. So I think that you're just such a confident young man that...
Hey, thank you.
I thought you somehow could be graduated and still run shit at the school simultaneously.
I mean, if they would let me, hell yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
that was
dude.
so much work, though, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we originally talked about doing this episode the day after the film festival just to catch you in the brink of how tired you were, and then and then we realized that's a terrible idea.
I was a dead man for 3 days.
Yeah, so for people listening, tell them about what you did.
Okay. Well, we got to go way back. So there's an organization at ASU called the Association of Filmmakers at ASU. I was social media for a while, and then I became co-president with Xavier Sanchez. We have a big event every year called the AFA Film Festival. It's one of the biggest film events for the film community at ASU. And then Corona happened, so that kind of screwed us over because we usually get out rent out a big theater and we invite all their families and stuff. It's usually a really cool time. And I didn't want to miss out on that opportunity. I know a lot of people really look forward to our event. So with hard times, it probably would have made the hard times a little bit easier. So I was like, okay, we're doing the whole thing online. I'm going to stream it on Twitch. We're going to get submissions and selection and judging all remote. And we did that. And it was a lot of planning, a lot of long nights, a lot of stressful days, but it happened. It was awesome. Bound across the ocean.
Yeah, that movie was really good. I really liked that one.
That was beautiful. I love that movie.
Yeah, it was a beautiful one. We'll talk about that in a sec, just to keep talking about you for a moment, though. Yeah. I think you guys did a great job. I like that you guys were together in a Zoom room at the end, presenting the awards, and it kept cutting back to you guys, here and there.
Yeah.
I think Xavier was wearing a tie or something, and you had your dinosaur shirt, and I was like, this is the best.
I had a onesie on. We did I almost got outvoted for that idea. That was I was like, Xavier, dude, it would be really funny. You get all dressed up, really try hard, tuxedo and stuff, and I'll just wear a onesie. And the original idea when I pitched it also had me with braids in my hair. but that didn't come to fruition. And they were
like,
like, God, this is a very serious event. I don't think we should like joke around with this. And I'm like, dude, no, this is so funny. I'm doing this. And then the whole Twitch chat is like, I love the onesie. And I'm like, dude,
the whole chat was like dinosaur shirt. Dinosaur. I don't even think I realized it was a onesie. I thought it was just a fire shirt, to be honest.
I can go grab it in a second. I'll put it on. It's a good time.
Yeah, sure.
My entire family has a matching one. So my dad and my mom, my sister and brother all have one.
Yeah. So
it's like a weird cult.
So really quick, how old are you?
I am 23 right now. I turned 24 in like 4 months, 5 months.
Okay, so I'm 23 and I turned 24 in July. So we're pretty much like exactly the same age. And,
pretty much. 2 months.
Just the way like starting college goes, a lot, sometimes you can have people graduate a bunch of semesters before or after you, but you're in that same age bracket just because like sometimes a degree path completely changes just one semester all of a sudden,
Yeah.
So I was in that bracket where you had to apply into the FMP route originally, which meant that people who did that at the earliest possible application spot kind of wound up then needing less credits than other people to graduate.
Yeah.
So I finished a full semester early. And so I graduated back in December of 2017. And then some people, maybe they start in one film path and then the other. So you can kind of see a lot of change happen like really, really quick, So it's for context, I was an intern for the same film club when I was a freshman at ASU second semester. And back then I remember, normally they hold the film festival at Valley Art Harkins on Mill. And then I remember one year they even had it at Tempe Marketplace, which is like a big
that
theater.
was awesome.
Yeah, like that's just
awesome.
Like if anybody doesn't have Harkins around, it's kind of like AMC and a lot of time even bigger than AMC. So for students to have their short films projected in like a legit space, that's really, really cool. So for you guys to be like, oh, this is literally the big thing for film students, and we have a college where the film program doesn't have its own building. It doesn't have that much of a budget.
It will now, though.
Yeah.
Apparently, right as we leave.
Yeah, that's how it always happens. For me,
Yep.
It was like, hey, we're hiring a cinematography teacher as you leave.
Shout outs to Philip Kluseritz.
Big
shout outs.
He's so good, dude.
Yeah.
So for you guys to take this like big annual event and be like, how the fuck do we salvage this? It was really cool to see you guys do it so fast. And especially through Twitch, because that is a little bit more of a newer young person thing to do, even opposed to like YouTube live stream. And something me and my friends in a group chat who were all watching it together were saying was like, yo, look at the views in here. There's like hundreds of people watching this. I don't even know if a Harkins theater has hundreds of seats, so this actually worked out better than we
outbooked the Harkins Theater from last year by about 80 viewers.
Yeah,
concurrently.
And I think anybody would agree it's always better to go in person and have that live audience experience. But in terms of allowing these people to share their work with others, you guys really got to make the most out of a bad situation. And if anything, expose their films to even more people than it would have normally seen. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm glad a lot of people enjoyed it. I got a lot of very nice messages about, I'm really glad this happened and you guys really killed it and we really appreciate it. And so it was good. It was good. And it was a fun time. And I loved like getting the interviews from the directors and stuff too. So like there was something. We tried to make something out of nothing. I think we did pretty well.
Well, I think your guys' AFA board stood out to me as like doing a particularly good job with your community outreach because
social media was amazing this year.
Yeah, I think you guys might be my favorite AFA board since when I started, because when I started, the president was this filmmaker named Justin Conforti, who was a really, really great guy. He was in his like I would say like early 30s or so, maybe late 20s. Sorry, Justin. I don't know. The point is, he wasn't like 19 or something. He was like a grown dude, and I believe he was a veteran even, and he was just like a really straightforward, just like nice guy who cared. And I remember being in those intern rooms and them talking about like raising all the money they did to get that Valley Art thing as good as it was, and they would try really hard with the crew fairs where people would come in and pitch their movies to each other and try to make it feel like there was a community, which is something that's, like organic community engagement, whether or not you're a film person or like a skater or whatever the fuck, it's like it takes a legitimate push to make something like that happen.
Absolutely.
And it kind of comes and goes. You got to, keep that alive. So I really noticed that you guys seem to make like a strong effort to seem like you were trying to make the film school seem like a cool thing and like it should be a communal thing and people should be like interacting with it more.
Yeah. That was a conscious effort. We really wanted to bring as many people in as we could, and because I think there's something about now that I'm graduated, I can say this. The first 2 years of any film person's college career, undergraduate, is like entirely prereqs, and you don't really do anything film related. So it can become kind of exhausting, and you'll start to question if you're not really getting inspired enough to keep wanting to learn the art.
Yeah.
But then the third year is where everyone changes. You get a bunch of capstones. You're making a 300 film. You're meeting people. They're inviting you to sets. The third year is the plateau, and then you're good for the rest of the time, and you're getting fulfilled. But those first 2 years, we need to help those people realize that you just got if you're passionate about it, you got to stick through it. So I think that was one thing we were trying to do, and I mean, our social media person this year, Rachel, was amazing. She killed that. We were doing takeovers, and
what was her last name?
Is Rachel Kennedy.
And what does she do as a filmmaker?
I don't even know if she's I don't think she's a film major. I think she's some kind of. Oh God, I'm sorry, Rachel, if you're listening to this. I don't think she's. She's really interested in film, and I think she wants to work in film, but I don't think she's a film major. Yeah, but she's cool. She did a great job.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something I noticed you guys did recently is you had all of your guys' different members, you included, have different, takeover days on the stories, and you guys had to, just decide what you were going to do for the day.
Yep.
Dude, your shit was so fucking funny. Oh, my God. I didn't see your story updates until the next day at, the 23 hours later mark, right when it was going to be vanished forever, and I'm so glad I saw it. Because...
That's awesome.
You just from talking, I might even just cut it in here at some point. I don't know, because I screen recorded 3 of them.
Hell yeah.
Because you were just talking about Paddington 2, and somebody made you play Wonderwall, and then you just started arm wrestling your dad, and just shit like that. Because I think with I think with film school, and artists in general, I think it's easy to maybe foster a sense of elitism, or if that's a word, and just, I don't know, I think you guys did a really good job just kind of making that community feeling of just, because when I was a freshman, something I went to pretty much every capstone showcase there ever was. And
same, yeah, I love those.
And since there's 2 graduation ceremonies per year, you get 2 a year. So in a 3.5 year track, that's God, this is basic multiplication. How many ceremonies is that? Is that 7?
I think, dude, I lost count too. I don't even know.
Anyways, but yeah, I remember just always wanting to try to know at least one or two people from every graduating cohort above me, and I did like a decent job of that. And then as I was a sophomore, I knew a handful of people of the younger people below me, but by the time I was like a second semester sophomore or a junior or whatever you would call it, I had already stopped knowing people, and that's where I probably would have naturally known who you are. But I think I met you like literally like the night of my capstone showcase or something like that. Like I met you.
I think we did. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think you and I met around when I graduated, and like now we're really good friends. But it just so lately I've been trying to make a bigger effort to like know some of the, like I can't even say younger people because like obviously you and I are the same age, but you know, just like recently graduating people as well as younger people.
Yeah.
Just because there's something. I think you would agree. Like Tempe is just filled with like so many talented artists.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that.
Yeah.
A lot of really talented people. My cohort, I really think was stacked. That was a stacked cohort. We had Brandon Ripp, we had Keegan Luther, we had Moses Lowy, we had me, of course, we had Allery. There was a lot of really talented people in that cohort. And
yeah.
I mean, I forgot a couple names, but I mean, you guys are talented too, just because I can't remember your name.
Yeah, Brandon and Dewey, they were like a dynamic duo. I met the two of them because they wound up doing like first and second AC work on a short film that I had shot at one point. So I met them like 2 years ago, and I just kind of arranged like a preliminary meeting with them to get to know them and kind of talk cameras and stuff. And I was like, oh, they should be teaching me stuff.
Yeah, dude, they're cool. They're great. Brandon Ripp won the Tech Award at the senior showcase that I also ran. Dear God.
Oh God, so you did that too?
Yeah. So the school, like, I put out a bunch of videos on social media about how we were going to do the AFA Film Festival. And how like we plan to do it online. So John Akisadana emails me, who's, if you guys don't know, he's the editing professor and he's one of like the big cheeses at the ASU Film School.
Yeah.
He emails me and he's like, you guys are doing it online. Like, I'd love to chat about it and like see how you guys are doing it and pick your brain. So I told him how we were going to do it. And he was like, wow, this is a great idea. I really appreciate you guys doing this. And then like 2 weeks later, they emailed me and they were like, do you just want to do ours too?
Okay.
I was like, okay. So they sent me all the content, and I threw it in a streaming software. I switched Zoom Live. I switched between films and stuff. And
okay, wow. So you were doing all of that through like an external software that kind of allows it to like host all that content like simultaneously in YouTube Live and Twitch Live, and that's how you were able to like load like 20 films and have it just go so smoothly.
I don't want to reveal my secrets.
Your sauce. You can't give up all the sauce.
It's honestly so simple for anyone that's like ever done like any form of like live streaming or
reveal a secret.
Twitch gaming
help
streaming.
People out.
It's just a software like
What's
something
it
like
called?
X. There's one called XSplit. I don't really use that one because it costs money. But I used to stream both the AFA Film Festival and the Senior Showcase. Streamlabs OBS. Which is a freeware software version of OBS that has a better feature set. I make all the scenes, and you just switch between them. I mean,
nice. Okay,
yeah.
I use OBS to screen record and steal YouTube videos.
Yeah, there you go.
anytime you Google YouTube to MP4 and you click on that link and it doesn't work, I'm like, time to open OBS.
Hell, and I have an archive of both days of the Senior Showcase and the AFA Film Festival if you want to like cut that into the podcast somehow.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, maybe. I don't know if like any of the filmmakers wouldn't want me to do that, but maybe I could like do
you don't show you can show like the in-betweens, like the host segments and stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have to show the film, or maybe some of the films. I don't know.
So what you just said makes a lot of sense, that you were the guy behind the curtain of the Senior Showcase, because me and some other film school friends, we were all talking during the showcase about how the Capstone Showcase was being live streamed through Twitch. And, that is definitely put up normally more by the professors than the festival. And my friends were just kind of like, man, I would kill to be in the room where Janaki Sadana, Adam Collis, and so-and-so said, let's use Twitch.
Yeah, like literally.
And then we were all thinking, how did that happen? That would never happen.
That genuinely happened. I was sitting at my computer, and I look at my phone, and literally it says Adam Collis is calling me. I'm like, why the hell is Adam Collis calling me? And I answer it, and he's like, hey, Nick, I think you could use this software to run the show. And I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Adam's like the nicest guy. He just wants to help students.
Oh, he's the best, man. I love him. He's really is great. And dude, the craziest moment of that was literally we had like a little green room set up for the Zoom call that we were hosting the show in, and there was a point where every single member of faculty except for like 2 or 3 film faculty were in the same Zoom call. So it was like all the professors, all the production people, which was like me and Allery and Rosemary, and like Jason Scott, who was hosting it, and it was the biggest clusterfuck of a Zoom call with all the professors in there like cracking at Lamont, and Adam Collis is laughing, and because Lamont like the night before wore like a full tuxedo to the Zoom call.
Oh my god!
So we were all just like cracking jokes at him. So now
which one did it? Who wore the tux?
Chris Lamont, Professor Lamont.
That adds up.
It makes a lot of sense. He wore like this full like Oscars tuxedo to the Zoom call.
Oh gosh!
I mean, he was announcing the producer award, but
no,
so
that's cool.
It was really funny though.
That's fun.
Paul DeNigris who's another professor in the Twitch chat was like, "Hey, like Lamont just finds any excuse to wear the suit."
Yeah, story about Paul. So Paul used to teach at a different film school that a lot of people in Arizona don't know about. So there's a school called I believe it's the University of Advanced Technology. It's UAT, and it's like exactly across the street from Fry's Electronics on Southern. So it's over by Arizona Mills.
Yeah.
From the street, it does not look like a school. So they specialize in just like anything technology and nerdy. So they, as a film school, mostly offer like visual effects, special effects, makeup. Like those are it seems like they're encouraged focuses. And I think like I looked into it once, and like for foreign language, like I think like they even had things like Japanese or stuff like that. Like I wound up learning about the school because there's a really great filmmaker. He's originally from Australia, but he went on to be like one of the absolute best filmmakers like from Arizona who I knew. His name is Jordan Whipple. Okay. And because me and my buddies sophomore year, we used to host a monthly film showcase at a coffee house. And he was the first person to ever submit to us. And we saw his movie, and his like favorite filmmaker is like Jim Jarmusch and David Lynch.
Oh, wow. Okay, I like this guy.
Yeah, and the movie he sent us was totally in that style, and it was like Australian, and we were like, yo, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
And we found out that there's like this like tech school that like also was a film school just like over, and you would never know about it. So in addition to Scottsdale Community College, like there's like trade schools that also offer film routes, for anyone who might be listening to this, considering learning stuff at a institution. And
please do.
Yeah. What's so funny too is like when you go to rent out equipment at ASU, it's like a pretty arduous task, and
so stupid.
And every single time you're making a movie for class, you kind of have to have a safety meeting if there's anything in there that's remotely a safety risk. And what's funny is like animals is a safety risk. So if your script so much as like has like a goldfish in it, you gotta like go set up this meeting and be like, hey, my script has a goldfish in it. Can you sign off on this?
It's the worst.
What I went over to help out Jordan with one of his movies, which they were filming on campus, and I remember like I was helping them set up, and like they were getting everything going. They had all the crew members, and like it was a really cool looking production. And then he was like, "Okay, we should go get the camera." And I walk with him downstairs, and he goes to the equipment cage. They hadn't even rented it yet, and they were like minutes away from shooting.
Oh my God.
And no, here's the thing. At this school, that's just fine, because he was like, "Hey, can I get like the Ursa?" And they're like, "Here you go." And
what?
Then, yeah, and the thing is too, they were filming like a hardcore like horror movie, and so he walked over to the security guard, and he was like, "Hey, so we're filming like a slasher upstairs, so if you hear horrific screaming, that's what that is." And the guy was just like, "Great."
That's
awesome. I was like, this is so
awesome.
And I was like, this is so different.
That just makes me upset. I just hear a lot about SCC too and how great they are, and then I'm just like,
yeah,
I
SCC
could have just saved money.
Yeah, my old roommate, he went to SCC. Riker Wells. Riker, for someone in our age group, he has done more grip and electric work than like anyone, I think.
Wow.
And like Quinlan, like he's done like he's done like a fuck ton of stuff, and like I know Q, he's mostly focused on being a director and a writer, and I know he doesn't really want to light things anymore. Riker, he was the type of guy where he was like legit like jumping on like Arizona like commercial sets all the time.
Wow.
So he came from SCC, which was like a lot more of the way he described it. They kind of were a lot more hands-on with like equipment and like that sort of thing. So yeah, like with ASU, I think the main difference is, since it is like this 4-year university setting, it's like the pros and cons, because I think they kind of keep you waiting a little bit longer to do stuff like that, but it's also because like by the numbers, if freshman year you have like 300 people in this film 101 lecture hall, you can't give all of them like a camera, you know?
Yeah. It's tough. There's too many. I mean, I don't know. I feel like they could be doing something though. They could do something. I feel like they need to do FMP 300 earlier.
No, I totally agree. There was this one time I literally sent a professor a message telling them like, "Hey, I think you should take the curriculum and literally make it inverse, where you literally make like film history and film 101 and all those things like your senior year classes." Because in my opinion, like if you started kids off with like film 300 and directing and cinematography, the kids who are like passionate about it and like are really about like teaching themselves things and going out and making movies, they're gonna do it, and they're gonna like get that energy going in their blood.
Yeah.
And the people who they're slackers and they realize like, oh, this isn't really for me, you know, like they'll get staved off and they'll change their major.
Yeah.
And then I think that puts them in a position where then if their junior and senior year is spent taking history classes and business classes, now they've already spent a few years doing these production classes. Oh, sorry, my phone. It's an alarm.
It's like, call Nick.
Yeah. So then like those students could spend their final years in school with like an easier course load, but they have all this knowledge inside of them now, and then they could spend like more of their free time just making even more stuff because they have a built muscle for it, and they might even have a firmer appreciation for the history that they're learning. Because I don't know about you, but when I was a freshman, I when they were teaching me like film history and stuff, like I just could not care.
Yeah, I didn't appreciate it. I appreciate it so much now. I literally, I had to retake film history just now in my last semester, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. I learned so much. And I was really enjoying it. Back sophomore year, I didn't care at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think that plan is amazing. I think they should implement that next year.
Yeah. The other thing is, I found that, in these history classes, you would wind up getting like a lot of people raising their hand to like talk and try to like flex their knowledge, and you would get these kids basically trying to prove that they know more about Citizen Kane than the other guy, and like as if like that makes them a better filmmaker,
Yeah, exactly.
And like I remember I even kind of did it one or two times where I felt like I was like extra smart or something, and like maybe like when I rose my hand and gave my little diatribe about my favorite movie, like that made me better or something, but it really doesn't. Not better not better than other people, but just like better as a filmmaker, like personally. And I think the problem with that is people kind of start to think like, oh, if I just cram all this knowledge of the greats into my brain, I'll be this encyclopedia, and then I just become one of them. But it's like, no, like so much of learning is problem solving and experimenting, and it's like if you're not doing any of that, then you're not gaining hardly anything. You just know a bunch of facts.
You've just seen a bunch of films. Now go make them.
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
Yeah.
It's not at all. And that's another reason why I think they should be making films earlier, because then you can add more make a film classes to the curriculum, and we can walk away from graduation with maybe 3 or 4 decent short films, and then like a capstone that's probably your best work, and you probably have like 5 short films to leave. You have like a pretty good reel. DPs will have a bunch of films. Editors will have a bunch of films.
Did you do an editing reel as a capstone? Did you have a senior thesis?
I didn't have a thesis. For my capstone, it was just you edit the 2 films that I had, and then you make an editing reel.
Okay.
I did a narrative one.
What were those 2 movies? I
edited Daniel Lindine's 200,000, and I edited Grace Flores' Toluene.
Okay.
And then I also edited Kayla DeWeese's Lipstick, but that's kind of in a...
Okay.
It's in a weird place right now. So.
Gotcha. I saw those first 2.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So you want to be an editor like more than anything. That's your primary focus. You're an editor.
Yeah, I think I have a newfangled passion for writing a script and directing it. So
okay.
That's something I want to try doing too.
Great.
But yeah. I put it on my little ASU Filmmakers like bio. I was like, I want to win an editing Oscar, and anything that leads me to that point, I'm fine with.
I'd love to deep dive into like why you're an editor, but just really quick, since this is like maybe like a new spark for you. What's got you into wanting to write and direct lately?
I don't know. Chandler Chavez, shout out to Chandler Chavez, has always told me, like, Nick, you should just start writing something. I feel like you would just be you're just really funny. Like, it'll probably be a great script. And I was like, okay. So I've been, like, for the last couple of years, I've just been like, ooh, that'd be a good script idea. I'll, like, jot it down on my phone. So I'm trying to, like, build a process of, like, writing a couple pages every day or something, just so, like, I can start actually getting a groove of it. And then I was like, okay, I'm writing these. I mean, I guess I'll direct it.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of directing. And I mean, I had my 300 film, but in my 300 film, I was a little checked out as a... I want to like be able to put everything into it and like make a film I'm like really passionate about and actually direct it.
Yeah, so. Was that 300 film Hulk Hands?
No, I wish, man. That would have been rad.
Okay.
The Hulk Hands was just a passion project that we did once Chandler had graduated already.
So you remind me, when I first met you, because I remember I met you outside the Galvin Theater.
Yeah.
When I approached you, had I already seen Hulk Hands, or was that the second time I met you that I was freaking out about Hulk Hands?
I don't remember, but I remember you. Yes, I remember you fascinated by Hulk Hands.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. So Nick directed this wonderful short film.
Oh, I didn't direct it. Chandler did.
Okay. Sorry.
Chandler Chavez.
What was your main participation with that movie?
I was the lead in the film, and I edited it.
Okay, so you edited it.
I
Okay.
may as well have co-directed it, but I mean that's neither here
Gotcha.
nor there. You know?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay,
Yeah.
I apologize to Chandler. I haven't seen it in like 2 years, but I just remember, because you being the main character, you do like the voiceover as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that movie is like such a surreal.
It is very weird.
It's such a weird skit. You guys took like a YouTube comment and like turned it into a whole like tragedy of this guy who like faces his bullies.
It is a real Amazon joke review written by an actual comedian that we got permission from, and we are in communication with. His name's James Etchison.
Okay.
But Chandler thought it was so funny. He's like, dude, I saw this Amazon review and I was dying. Like, I think I'm going to write a script of it.
Yeah.
And he wrote it in, like, I think it was literally, like, 3 days. And he was like, dude, we're filming this. And so we started having production meetings. And he was like, Nick, I want you to be the guy. And I'm like, all right.
Okay.
I mean, we were at the point at that point where he was just like, okay, you're acting in it. And I was like, okay, when do I show up? Like, I don't even really have a choice. I'm just there.
Well, then, shout out Chandler then for doing such a good job. I guess in my head it was more you, but you are like the main character and everything, and
That's
like
fair.
And you do such a good job being that guy. because I remember. Yeah. So here's the thing. I remember when I approached you and I was freaking out about it. You didn't want to talk about it at all. You wanted to forget about it completely. You were like, let's not talk about this. But I was not being sarcastic. I was like, this is one of the best things I've seen in a long time.
I appreciate that.
And the reason why is because I just love comedy like a lot, and that's like honestly the reason like I wanted to be a filmmaker. But the other thing is, I remember in my cohort we had a filmmaker, DJ Birch, who's a great writer.
Oh yeah, I just met him at I didn't meet him. I hung out with him at a social distance birthday party.
Sure.
Yeah.
So there was this thing where for his 300 film, he wrote this really dense sci-fi script. And we were in the process of shooting it, and it was dense for like a class movie to be done in a month.
Yeah.
Simultaneously, he also wrote and directed a whole other short film that was basically like a Sorkin style thing.
Wow, okay.
He entered it in a film festival and won that film festival.
Oh, hell yeah.
So he was doing this simultaneously, and during this time, every now and again, like, just strange things would happen with him. Like, maybe he would invite somebody over to the house that normally wouldn't come over, and we were just like, why is so-and-so here? And then you would just, like, forget about it.
Yeah.
So, and we just never finished his main movie for class, and we were like, man, DJ's gonna get an F, or man, DJ's not getting this done, or maybe he was in over his head. Like, what the heck's going on? Boy, so like, so class starts, right? And he starts playing his film, and it's one of the scenes from his movie that we shot, but it's like in the middle of the movie. It's not even the intro, and we're just like, man, I guess he just kind of gave up. And then it glitches out, and it turns into this documentary about why he didn't finish his movie. And it's like legitimately really well done. And and it's like a really well done documentary about why he didn't make his assignment. And he goes into the long history about how his script was too long and how he was making this other movie. And it's featuring like talking head interviews with us. Our friends are in it, but we didn't know we were in it because when he recorded us, he like didn't tell us that it was happening. And he would like apparently have people over, put them in a room, give them some words to read, not tell them what it was, and then just tell them to leave and never ask about it again until they literally forgot it happened.
That's incredible.
So he contrived this like whole thing. And to me, what what the structure of like a university wants you to do, you know, they don't want you to do that at all. Like they want you to, you know, they want you to experiment and make good work, but you know, for the most part, you know, they want you to like follow rules and make you know what I mean? So like
I know exactly what you mean.
And it also just takes a certain sense of humor, you know? It was like that movie was almost just like a middle finger.
Yeah.
So when I saw Hulk Hands, it was the first time I got that feeling in a long time.
Hell yeah, man.
About some ASU filmmakers. I was just like, holy shit, this is crazy.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it was Chandler's very like balls to the wall, like very dark. We did another film. It's called In the Company of Death. It's picture locked, but we're working on some other post stuff right now, and it's very much the same way. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited for people to see that. That one's like 20 minutes. There's a 9/11 joke. There's there's a lot of horse crap in there, but it's fun.
The classic go-to.
Yep.
So
can I go to the bathroom real quick? I'm literally about to pee myself.
Yeah, please do.
2-minute break real quick.
Yeah. We'll just cut this out because I've been staring at my water bottle for so long.
When I leave, just say he went to pee and keep talking.
I've had to poop this whole time.
Oh no. That was the greatest pee of all time. Nothing like a podcast Zoom pee break.
Nothing like an outfit change either, my God.
I know, dude. I literally was so excited to do a interview style conversation podcast again because it's been so long. I made a coffee Coke to celebrate, and you know it made me have to pee so bad.
Oh, you drank a coffee Coke? Those are like delicious and dangerous.
Very dangerous, man. I haven't had one in months because, you know, it's terrible for you, but they're a lot of fun to drink.
I don't know if you heard the June episode of my show, but we roasted you for your bang drinking.
Ah, fucking June. God damn it.
She was like, I just got back from nothing, and that man is all bang.
It's all bang. I was big into bangs, dude.
Yeah, I remember you gave me a sip of one once, and I was like, yeah, this is good. I get it.
They're amazing. They're amazing. I haven't had a lot of them since I lived in Tempe. Mm-hmm. Just 'cause I used to have them a lot when I worked at SCS and stuff, but God.
I wasn't sure if you did work there or not. I worked there.
Yeah, I know. We know that. I worked there from like May 2018 to like May 2019.
Well, what's really funny is Justin, that president of the same club you're president of, he worked there, and he's the reason I worked there. He showed me the place.
Wow. Hell yeah.
So there's actually been like 6 years worth of generations of film students that worked in that freaking basement. It's kind of crazy.
And Allery was the president of the AFA, and she introduced it to me because they needed help when I was at SCS. So
Dan
it was
Dixon
the other way around too.
Does not know how good he had it.
Dan Dixon really does not know. We had a super team down there. June Hucko was there too.
I shouldn't say that. That man dealt with a lot of bullshit.
He dealt with a lot of bullshit.
He really did. Shout out Dan.
Happy retirement, bud.
Yeah. Let me ask you before I move on to talking about your podcast, just to go over you as an editor really quick. What made you want to be an editor? I'm always, because I enjoy editing, but I also started doing it out of necessity because I always wanted to be a director and a cinematographer initially, but in order to do that on my own, I was like, I gotta edit my own videos. So, and then I started doing it, and I found what was enjoyable about it. I think for somebody to want to be an editor inherently, that's always an interesting thing to me. So, like, what got you there?
That's an interesting question. I think it's kind of around the same thing you were saying. I came to ASU wanting to be a cinematographer.
Okay.
And by like the end of my third year, I realized like I've been editing this whole time. I'm always like the guy that's like, oh yeah, I'll edit it. And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. And like I've been editing for so long, like underneath trying to learn how to do cinematography, I was like, I think this is probably what I want to be doing actually.
Okay.
And then once I like told myself I am an editor and I edited more projects and learned the workflow and, you know, the thought process and making choices like that was like, this is where I want to be.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know what I just realized? This is the most interviewy podcast I've done. Normally it's just kind of just way more free flowy. I just realized I've just been like I don't think it's inherently a bad thing. I
You got the superstar guest on apparently.
I think it's the Zoom thing. I think it's because like you're in front of me and I'm like, what do we have? Anyways.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I feel you. It's good. It's cool though. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah. So you were just doing it out of necessity for a while, and then you realized, I think I kind of like this more. I'll just keep doing it.
Yeah, essentially. And in high school, I was in all the media productions classes, and we made all these dorky videos, and I would cut them together. And I watched a lot of YouTube back then, and I still watch a lot of YouTube now. It's pretty embarrassing.
Dude,
I like binge YouTube channels. It's so bad.
No, dude, I binge YouTube more than anything else. And
yes.
And in high school, I binged TV like crazy, and I always did, and I always watched a bunch of movies too. But I think I always kind of watched TV more than anything. And in college, I didn't have as much time for any of my interests, even including music, just because I was making so much. So I kind of still, I think, enjoyed the three at like equal levels. They were just all diminished. And then since graduating, movies and TV really took the back burner to just really sparking my passion for music, because I realized just how much that was really going down just the more and more I was getting invested in movies, you know?
Yeah.
So lately it's been fun, like reinvigorating like movie and TV passion, but like I gotta say, like the YouTube is just that good shit, because it's just like the portal to the universe. Like everything exists there. It's like any fucking person you could humanly think of is just uploading the craziest stuff ever.
And the content is also, oh my god, the content is also professional at the same time. There's so many channels that are putting in a lot of effort into making their videos quality, and they have like no, they have no studio limitations. They have no like distribution limitations. Like they can literally just make whatever they want. Like H3 Productions is amazing, and Captain Disillusion is amazing, and so many good YouTube channels.
What's crazy about YouTube as a service is the basic function of what it is exactly the same as it's always been. Like we've had access to global free distribution for almost like 20 years now. And it's just now converging to this point where we're all like, oh wait, we could have been doing it like this whole time.
Yeah.
And part of that is definitely because the surrounding technology is cheaper. Because for instance, just a few years ago, a 64 gigabyte SD card could be like $80 or so. Now you can get a 256 SD card for that same amount, which is insane. Mm-hmm. So it is partially because of the surrounding technology, and especially smartphones. Not everybody had a super good quality camera around or video editing software. But like the reason I'm bringing this up is because honestly, some of the channels I enjoy the most these days are the ones that don't put in a lot of effort, and they're good anyways.
Yeah.
Because those ones blow me away. Like I found like my roommate Nick, he was showing me. He was like, you know what you need to spice up your algorithm with? And I was like, what, Nick? And he was like, Beekeeper YouTube. Dude. If you go watch these videos... Trust me. Don't trust me. If you go watch these videos of these guys who remove beehives, it's bananas.
I went on a bad tangent once on YouTube watching videos of this guy that does floor cleaning. Spray shit. He'll spray shit in the carpet and massage it, and then he'll like spray it up, and he'll show all the black water that comes out when it's done. It's like so satisfying to watch.
So you're telling me you're a fan of floor cleaning YouTube, but you just turned your nose up at beekeeping?
Yes. It is very territorial in the niche YouTube crowd game.
The dog in this room just successfully ate a fly out of the air, and I think he impressed himself.
That's awesome. Good for him, man.
Yeah, the fly's not fully dead, so anyways.
At least someone's fulfilled in the quarantine.
Yeah, and dude, YouTube's great. I found this one guy recently. I'm going to send this to you. I don't know how else to describe it. This dude basically made, like, not a jetpack, but it's kind of better than a jet. You know those boats that, like, swamp people have where it's, like, a giant fan in the back? And the boat is being driven by, like, one of those giant fans that's, like, behind a gate.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I can't remember. Speedboat, motorboat, fan boat.
Speedboat. Okay, so imagine a speedboat fan, but in front of it there's a seat, and then above it there's like a hang glider, and then in the front there's like almost like kite controls. This like rural farmer guy literally like zips up to like airplane height and just flies through the South, just doing his thing. So YouTube recently it recommended
what?
YouTube recommended me this video recently, and it said testing out if I can fly to McDonald's to get a McDouble, and he's like, I'm gonna go get a burger, and he just gets on his thing, he flies to McDonald's.
I'm gonna go get a burger.
I don't want to like characterize him as like stupid or anything. He's clearly smarter than me, honestly, and a very talented.
He built a fucking airplane out of a boat.
Yeah, and clearly a talented pilot. And honestly, this might be like a pre-existing thing that I just don't know about. This might be a whole community, but frickin' this guy.
I'm gonna look this up
because I don't know if he built it. Yeah, pull it up. I would love to be at the point with the podcast that I can just pull up clips the way like Joe Rogan can.
Same.
Yeah, see if you can find flying to McDonald's. Just type that in and see what shows up.
Flying airboat?
Yeah, here.
Flying to McDonald's on my paramotor.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
His name is Tucker Gott. Yep, that's him.
Yeah. Pull that up and just jump to the middle really quick. I'll superimpose the video into the podcast later so people can see what we're talking about while you're watching.
Okay,
it right now.
I'm gonna click to 6 minutes exactly in 3, 2, 1, click. Okay, he's in McDonald's. Oh, I think he already got here.
Okay, yeah. Jump forward. He'll eat the burger while he's flying in the air. It's fucking
Jesus.
bananas.
Okay, 7 minutes and 3, 2, 1, click. Holy he's got a GoPro on his shoe, bro.
Yeah.
This dude's just flying.
Yeah, he has GoPros attached to like the heel tips of his shoe so he can film himself up there.
This guy's a maniac. He's about to chow down on a McDouble or something.
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying. Like, the channels that don't try that hard with their video production, but the content of what they're making is just unbelievably good, those are the channels I've been really obsessed with lately.
This guy's wild. Oh, he's eating a chicken sandwich. Good for him, man. How the hell is he in the air like this?
Dude, I always tell people you need to just throw wrenches into your algorithm. You need to search shit that you normally would never search, because then your homepage starts recommending you the most fire stuff ever. Like, it's anyways.
This is kind of what I was talking about when I meant a new format. I think I might want to do like an open tabs podcast.
Ooh.
Right? I just find weird shit and I watch it like live and like basically do live commentary for it.
Ooh.
And just live stream it on Twitch.
That'd be sick, honestly. Oh wait, so it'd be a podcast or it'd be a live stream?
It'd be both. Like we could live stream it live and have live guests, but then I would save the recordings as a pod. It'd kind of be like a
Ancient Aliens, like with Action Bronson.
Yeah, it could be something like that. But I'd be like, okay, so I'm having Zane Berry on.
Yeah,
and
I want to. I want to do
this weird thing where people jerk off to girls sinking in quicksand, and we're gonna watch it together.
I was so afraid with what the rest of that sentence was going to be. I was like, please don't say anything cancelable. Please don't say.
I won't get you canceled. I've already been canceled. It's fine.
Oh, have you?
No.
Welcome back.
Dear God, if I got canceled,
I don't think
to riches story.
Well, see, the thing is like, I don't think you can be, because if you just keep making what you make, then.
Yeah, I mean, you can say I'm canceled all you want, but if I put the movie out still, I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't do anything that deserved to get canceled, though. Okay, so please let's not make this a thing where people think I'm canceled.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe I made it worse. Anyways,
every ZaneBerryPodcast fan is like, "What the? This dude sucks, man."
No,
canceled.
Look at him. No, look at him. He has the dinosaur shirt.
I'm wearing a dinosaur shirt, man. You can't fault me as a human being when I'm wearing a dinosaur shirt.
Honestly, dude, I would want to do that show with you, because I have just the craziest YouTube links.
Dude.
And my friends do too. Like fucking, I was just saying, my roommate Nick, he showed me Beehive YouTube. My other roommate Elijah, like, he's always just like, look at this, and I'm like, how did you find this? Dude, I found algorithm gave me aquarium YouTube. Delightful.
Aquarium YouTube's probably good too. There's a lot of weird sections of YouTube, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna pull up YouTube right now and see what it's recommending me.
Yeah, I think it's just a good time for everybody to just kind of be making stuff, you know? And nobody should feel like pressured like they have to either, because I think that's the first step to like feeling manic or low self-esteem, or even like ruining the whole point of it, you know? But it's like, if you do something interesting or you're a little bit bored, you know, it's like, might as well just find a way to share this, because like we're saying, there's like so many channels that the video production side, it's extremely technically low quality, but like the content itself is like amazing.
Yeah, like a lot of the great H3 productions, like reaction videos that are so funny, were filmed on like clearly what was like a Sony Handycam.
Yeah.
But like the editing and the performance by the guy is so funny that, I mean, you just watch it anyway. And you can binge the hell out of those. They're all like 10 minutes long.
I have a weird relationship with H3. Like I found out about them because of their podcast, actually. And then I realized, like, oh, these are like YouTube like OG types.
Yeah.
And then I saw the Vape Nation video, and I was like, oh, okay, I definitely know about this, you know?
Yeah.
It's this thing where I tune into their podcast every now and again, and you know, they get good guests because of their level of YouTube-dom, and I think that they're like a level of like, they kind of understand how the internet works and things like that.
Absolutely.
So they don't let like dumb mainstream culture stuff kind of get to their heads sometimes. But I also find that Ethan can just be like so neurotic and just like not intuitive as an interviewer, that I find that sometimes when they're trying to generate their own conversation when they don't have guests, I can find it kind of dull. And when they do find guests, sometimes I'm just like yelling at the screen, like, just do better, Ethan, please.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like I'm the best at all. Like, this is our 10th episode. Also, shout out you for being episode 10.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm glad. That's awesome.
But yeah, but you know, like H3, that, you know, they get people from like Bill Burr to Andrew Yang or whoever. So I'm always just like, yeah, I'll click in. But
yeah.
Did you watch their Papa John episode?
Dude, I haven't watched it yet. I'm like, low-key, it makes me nervous. It's like, I just have like a strange feeling it's going to be like really awkward and hard to watch.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's how I feel about a lot of their episodes. I watched half of it. My favorite part was when they bring out a bunch of pizzas and they have him like rate them. But the thing yeah, because he was. But then you remember, like, oh wait, they have corporate standards, so he's actually using like approximate like measurements, like, oh, the crust is supposed to be this many inches, so I give this a
This is incredible. I really need to watch this.
Yeah, it's it's just so dry though. Like, it's not even as funny as like I'm describing. It's just like a it is what it is type thing.
That is, it's very funny to hear Papa John Shatner talk about Papa John's though. So I think I need to watch that.
Yeah, what sort of stuff has been like making you excited lately? I know with like quarantine, everybody's kind of stir crazy. So what's been kind of stimulating you, my guy?
Marijuana.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I had to
what?
stop doing that as of yesterday. I realized I just can't do that.
Good for you, man. I have unfortunately not stopped.
Well, I mean, different people are different. You know,
Yeah.
you could be fine. I just realized, like, oh, this isn't making me feel good.
No, I feel that. Sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time, it's pretty good though.
Yeah, good. I wish I could say that.
I've been playing I've been trying back when I was very busy. I'll get I tend to get very anxious, and I have a hard time like shutting down or relaxing, taking my mind off work. So like the last year or two, I really haven't been like playing video games at all, like very sparingly.
Yeah, same.
So I really so recently when I've had I have very little to do. I'm on a gig right now editing, but I'm kind of waiting for stuff to arrive. So I've just been playing a lot of Warzone.
Okay.
And I'm like, this is honestly like really fun. So I've been playing with people, catching up with them, and playing video games and stuff.
I've heard of that game, but I don't know what it is. I've always been a Nintendo person, so there's like a lot of shit that I'm like very arrogant.
It's actually free on Switch, so you could play it as well. But,
is it a battle royale?
It's the Call of Duty battle royale.
Oh,
so it's made
okay.
by Activision, and it's like the official Call of Duty engine, so it feels really good, but it's just a battle royale.
So like my relationship with non-Nintendo games is, like we had a PlayStation 1 so that we could play Spyro, and we had Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 on PC.
Sure.
And that was kind of it. So then I played Halo 3 like a lot when I went to my friend's house. And that game was amazing, but it also has, its fantasy elements to it, which I think makes it palatable to Nintendo people. Yeah. I remember in early high school, late middle school, when everybody started making the jump to Call of Duty, I was pissed because just the fact that I even had to hold something down to run made me mad. I was like, I can't do this. I'm old.
That's fair.
It just everything about it just felt like clunkier to me. And then there was, there started to be Left 4 Dead and Gears of War. And, I remember being kind of like black and white with the way I thought about things back then. Like there's Mario and there's Sonic, there's Halo and there's Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So then when they started adding these other ones, I was like, oh, I guess there's 4 shooter games. And now obviously there's like over 50
there's
franchises.
Millions.
So
there's
it's just like... Yeah, like I just feel out of my element with that stuff. But the one game like I'm really into in that kind of genre is Overwatch. I really like Overwatch.
Oh, I love Overwatch. Yeah, I play a lot of Overwatch.
Yeah,
it's a good time.
And then I was playing a lot of Animal Crossing, but I took a break to get just like way better at Smash the last few weeks because my one buddy. Yeah, my one buddy Mark. He has a channel under the name. Private Spicy, except it's spelled like PVT Spicy. He's basically like pro level Smash player, and like we've played probably over 100 games now. I've only beaten him like 2 or 3 times, and it happened very recently. And I like finally started learning like actual combos. Because I'm with you. I think like once you kind of start to get into a productive stint, like there's just certain hobbies you have, like whether or not it's video games or watching TV, where you're like, it just feels wrong to sit down and like do something so stagnant.
Yep, I agree exactly.
But then you're like, oh well, no, this is kind of essential to life. It's like you gotta relax too. You gotta have both sides of it, or else you're gonna burn out.
You realize once you hit the point where you have a lot of free time and you're able to kind of choose what you want to do, like how important like it would have been to working in an hour of video games every day to like relax or something.
Oh
and
yeah,
dude, I don't know if you knew, but I was also a pro Smash player.
Oh, that's crazy.
We used to go to tournaments and stuff. We used to host Melee tournaments, which was rad.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Do you have a Switch?
I do. It's somewhere. I play a lot of Ultimate. Yeah.
Oh, we should play sometime and see how bad I lose.
Oh, for sure. We just recently did a tournament. I posted an Instagram
I played
story about doing online tournaments or hosting like some kind of online tournament thing. I didn't know how many people responded. I might do it again and see.
I played in the Hungry Box competition that he threw on.
Oh, the box? Yeah.
Yeah. I was disqualified instantaneously.
You lost in pools?
Or I wasn't disqualified, but I just lost. What's funny, too, is the two people I lost to, I could tell they weren't better than my friend, but, like, they played as, the one guy was Snake, and then the other guy, I think, was, like, Cloud or something, and I was just like, oh, my worst enemies, because I'm, like, a Lucas person, and I was just like...
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, the first guy has too much range, and the other guy is just broken.
There's a lot of Smash Brothers. A lot of Smash Brothers comes down to matchups, learning how to play against certain characters and what you should.
My top 5. It's weird because I used to think of my top 5 as one thing, but now that I've been playing more, and people who are better than me can kind of tell me like, hey, I know you think this is your second best character, but you play better as this other guy, so I've had to adjust it in my head. But my top 5 is Lucas, Toon Link, Villager, Diddy Kong, and probably like Dr. Mario.
Hell yeah.
I might be boring the shit out of people right now. I'm just naming.
No, this is rad. This is awesome.
Somebody out there, I don't know.
In Melee, I played entirely Sheik. I was a Sheik main.
Yeah, Sheik is like the best character in Melee, I think.
That character's tight. Fox is really stupid in Melee though.
Yeah, I know Fox is considered the best character, and I understand why, and he probably is, but I just remember as a kid thinking like, yo, Sheik is the shit.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome. And then in Ultimate, I play I'm a Yoshi main.
Nice.
And I have a Young Link secondary. I play Bowser, and I play... I feel like there's one more. I play a little bit of Cloud. I play a little bit of... There's a couple characters. I play a lot of that game, though.
Dude, the day after Andrew Yag dropped out, some like gamer guy went up to him and said, will you say Bowser players are carried? And he did it. So there's this clip of Andrew Yag just saying Bowser players, he says Bowser mains are carried. There was that one point too. It was like a news article. Main. It's so fun, dude. Bowser mains are ridiculous because like you're not supposed to be good as him, but then when
I'm so dirty with Bowser, bro. It's so fun.
Dude, we gotta play.
Yeah.
Yeah. People underestimate Yoshi too. He's like a fucking tank.
Yoshi, I'm so dumb with Yoshi. It's stupid.
It's because all of his smash attacks and his aerial attacks just have like such a blast to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, when are you gonna start doing Nothing with Nick Johnson again? Where's your podcast?
See, I talked about it in the AFA takeover because Eric asked me about it. Shout out to Eric.
Okay. So this is double duty right now. You've already done.
Yeah. So the reason I haven't uploaded since the middle of February.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. Almost 4 months. We're coming up on 4 months.
Well, we've all been through a lot since then, so it's understandable.
That feels like about 6 years since I uploaded the last one.
It really does, but.
But the reason I originally stopped doing it was because I wasn't a big fan of the format of the show that I had.
Oh, really?
I didn't like relying on guests.
Okay.
Which seemed, turned out for the better probably because it would have been hard to get guests. I guess Zoom call now, but.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just going to quit for a little bit and like rethink the format. And then, all the film festivals showed up and all that. So I had to like focus on those. But now that I've abs,
you'd be great at that. Yeah.
I would love doing that. And I had another idea where it was like, I just record the audio of a battle royale game we play and I interview them like while we're playing. So it'll be like we're literally being interviewed in like a wartime.
Oh, what?
So I'll be like asking them a question about something, and then like all of a sudden like we'll get in a gunfight, and they'll be like guy left, and like we'll just start shooting, and like you'll hear the gun sounds and stuff.
Do you think I think it sounds like Open Tabs could totally be like its own show for the thing you're describing with like the wartime episodes, but you're still possibly like interviewing people. Do you think that would still be Nothing with Nick Johnson, but maybe it would just be like a different kind of episode? Like, do you think?
Yeah, maybe.
Do you think Nothing with Nick Johnson could evolve into this show where people just kind of come to expect different kinds of episodes? So then it's like, oh, here's an interview episode, here's one of these game episodes, so it's almost like just a mystery box of like what they're gonna get.
I think I would enjoy doing that more. I kind of like changing it up a lot. Maybe if anything, it could be like when you show up, I'll be the host. I'll have some kind of guest. We'll be talking about something, but in like a cool way. Like I could also have like, once it's safer to do so, I could have a guest and we could do like the pizza delivery idea I had.
Yeah.
And just like have a guest there while the pizza people are showing up and interview them too.
It sounds kind of like you're almost like a game show host, but instead of being like some gross corporate NBC presents Jane Lynch game night, you're just like a normal actual guy giving your guests like fun things to do. I think the irony is you just said the thing that stopped you was running out of guests, and you're still describing guest things, but what's great is you would still be able to do it by yourself because these are all interactive things. So
yeah, that was the biggest thing for me.
So then when you don't have guests, you could still do things like Open Tabs, and then you just have more stuff to play off of.
Yeah, and that was my idea. I wanted to be able to do it by myself, and just adding a guest would make the show better, but I could still do it by myself.
Totally. You're the reason I really started doing the show, because I always wanted to do something like this, but I kind of procrastinated and stalled on it for a lot longer than I would have. I recorded the first episode of my show back in November, but I didn't release it until January, and I just kind of stalled on making like the visualizer and the opening intro and things like that, because I didn't want to start releasing until like I had like my theme song and like my intro, and I just wanted to have like everything sorted out. I sort of like overthink things sometimes and think everything has to be exactly perfect before I start something, but it's like it's kind of okay sometimes to release your drafts just in the sake of like getting the ball rolling,
Yeah.
And so then, like, when you started doing your thing, I was just like, oh, shit, Nick has a show. And I tuned in, and I was like, this is really good. And I hit you up, and I remember I was asking you for tips, and I'm sure I remember you almost, like, came off as annoyed because I was, like, over-asking simple questions. I was like, how did you record it? And you were like, bro, I bought a $100 microphone. And then I was like, which one? And then you just sent me the Google search for Blue Yeti microphone. You didn't even send me the Amazon link.
I was not having a good day that day, apparently.
No, it was hilarious.
Does not sound like me.
No, it was fucking hilarious.
That's awesome.
No, I mean, we're good friends. I don't care. Like, you weren't mean. You weren't being mean or anything. It was really funny. But yeah, it was just one of those things where I was like, yeah, I'm overthinking this. So yeah, it sounds like you have tons of great ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. I just want to, got to give myself something to do. I'm going crazy in here.
Yeah, well, I always had it in my head, like I wanted the first 10 episodes of my show to be like really good, and I wanted like the first, because I just have like so many, talented friends that, this show gives me a chance to, showcase them. And like allow them to kind of talk about themselves and what they do, and I just really like people and having conversations. That was the main drive. Like that was the main drive. I just really like talking to people.
Yeah.
So then and I always wondered like, well, what happens when I run out of people? Like, do I do solos, or do I just to keep the thing alive, or do I just take really long breaks? So then when coronavirus happened, I was like, I don't know if I want to do Zoom or not. So I did those 2 solo episodes, and I think they turned out pretty good. So I'd still be down.
Yeah, I saw that. I haven't had a chance to watch those yet.
That's okay. Yeah, check them out if you want to. I think they turned out pretty good, and I would still be down to do episodes of that style in the future. But like now, I'm just like, dude, people are already like getting so used to Zoom style content. I was like, I should just start calling people like, this is fine.
Yeah, I'm literally cutting a show right now that is just Zoom style podcasts. So
literally right now, are you editing in front of me?
Well, I'm not editing right now, but I mean, I was I was editing earlier.
I was like, are you just editing while talking to me? Don't do that.
No, of course not.
Okay,
I'm literally just sitting here.
I was like, that would be the one problem with this. The guest could just be on their computer.
The guest is just playing a game of Warzone. Yeah, whatever, buddy. Pushing 350.
Yeah. What for you, what has been the biggest things you feel like you've kind of learned and overcome episode to episode? Because I'm sure you've like re-listened to yourself a little bit and been like, oh, I want to fix that or get better at that.
The big thing, the first thing, because I had a. You're talking about the podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, your whole life.
My life. I had episodes in my life. The big thing was because I made a routine of I would put it out on Wednesdays, and Thursday mornings I would go to class. So in the morning I would just listen to the podcast that I put out in its entirety. Mm-hmm. Or actually, it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday midday when I would go to class. So it came out that day, and I would like note things that I noticed about the way I ask questions or the way the podcast progresses, and how I could make it better. The big thing was like the first episode I ever did. I just realized how like I had like this anxious tick of like throwing an F-bomb into like every sentence.
Oh.
And I was like, it's just I sound like a child. I sound obnoxious. So like the next episode, I just made a conscious effort to like not curse as much.
Okay.
Because it just came off as childish, and like I think that definitely improved. And now, I mean, I'm a lot more comfortable talking to people because I've done like 24 episodes or whatever. So
nice. That's a good amount.
It's crazy, man. I'm very fortunate.
When did you start? When did the first one come out?
I think it was October 2019. Okay, and I posted through February. And I missed a couple.
So that's 24 episodes in 5 months. I mean, that's like pretty fucking good, dude.
Yeah, I mean, there were long stretches where I would post like 9 or 10 weeks in a row on Wednesday every morning.
Because
I would have like 1 or 2 off, and then I would go for 9 again. And
yeah, because I don't really have any system to this. Like for me, the main goal has always just been to grow Tall Skeleton as a whole, because I just want it to be a channel / production company that has everything from music videos to podcasts to YouTube videos to video essays, just anything somebody finds interesting, they can find it on Tall Skeleton. So like when it comes to the podcast, it's just kind of like, hey, so and so's interesting, maybe they're free right now, and I'll just make some time on Saturday or something like that, and have something for this week. But I haven't really been sticking to a schedule, so I'm not even really aware what the gaps in between episodes are. So this is the 10th one since January, but I recorded the first one in November.
Yeah.
And then I didn't record episode 2 until the very end of December. I recorded 2 and 3 actually back to back. I recorded with June, and then the second she got done, DJ walked in and we recorded his.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I did.
It's like a marathon.
Yeah. And I just wound up putting theirs out in like flipped order. So then when January started, I just kind of had 3 in the bag, and then I was able to just kind of go from there. But you did. That's really cool that you kind of just gave yourself like a schedule to stick to.
I think it's really important, honestly, to build an audience of, people that they just know that a new episode will be coming out on Wednesday. So it's pretty much like free marketing for you. You get people interested, and then they'll just come on their own accord knowing there'll be a new one. So.
Yeah, the two solo, well, it's been funny like kind of running experiments because like the two solo episodes I have, they both have like roughly the same amount of views as I have subscribers. So I'm just like, okay, it seems like I have like a baseline minimum of clicks as like people who come to this channel, you know what I mean? But then the episodes who have like guests who put out stuff of their own, like the musicians, those are who've come on, those are the most popular episodes and they have like double as much. So I'm like, okay, so guests clearly draw stuff. But like I said, like I post in an unorthodox way. So like, I don't really like, I have no idea who listens to this at all. Like I have zero perception. Like for all I know, like it's been you this whole time, but you just said you didn't hear the last one. So it's like, I've just been kind of doing it and throwing it out there. And I think that's like the big thing about, making art for yourself, because a lot of the time, whether or not you draw or you're a musician or a filmmaker, like a lot of time when you finish your art and you throw it out there, that's the last you hear of it. Like you just don't know.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, pretty much. That's the thing I really love about using Anchor. Mm-hmm. Is it like gives you all those analytics that you want? Like it tells you how many people listen to it, tells you where they were from. So I have like this weird like European audience for nothing that like I just it's very strange.
I've actually never checked that before.
Oh, well, there you go. You can also check like what websites most people listen to it on, so you can like tailor those more, put more time into making those look professional and stuff.
Well, see, I film mine, so like I promote the YouTube version more than anything. So ironically, when I upload to Anchor, it's like my complete underthought. Like I forget that it's even like maybe I should be putting out the streaming more. I don't know.
Who knows, bro? It's a lot of fun doing podcasts, and I stopped, but I mean, I want to start again, hopefully. So
yeah, I talked about this on the last episode with my roommate Nick. Have you do you know about the show Midnight Gospel?
Is that the cartoon one?
Yeah.
But I haven't watched. I think I've seen. Is it like the new Adventure Time thing?
Yeah, but so let me tell you about it a little bit. So it is co-created by the Adventure Time creator, but the main brainchild behind it is a comedian / podcaster named Duncan Trussell. Mm-hmm. And he's like Joe Rogan's like best friend, and he's been on that show a million times, and I've always listened to him when he comes on that show because he always kind of talks about just like very like spiritual, introspective, existential stuff, but it's always like a positive flip. So they can talk about really existential stuff like spirituality or death or the size of the universe, but make it feel kind of like warm and fuzzy. So Duncan made this show where basically his main character, he goes into an Earth simulator that simulates other versions of the planet, and he does this literally only to record podcasts. So the first few minutes are like plot, you know, but then from then on, the entire rest of every episode is pretty much like you're listening to a podcast. And the way that they make the show is like they actually like record podcasts, but then they just, you know, he tells the guest like, hey, every now and again, we just have to interweave in a few lines of dialogue about like some elves or some like, you know, sci-fi shit. But it's like mostly
that's awesome.
Yeah, and some of it is actually from like podcast I think he even did before the show existed. Because like episode 3, his character is like interviewing this like fishbowl guy. He's like literally talking to a fish the whole episode. But in real life, it's from this interview he did with a guy who in real life was on death row to be executed, but then new evidence exonerated him. Like he didn't commit the crime. And so this guy who thought he was going to be executed, like now is just released.
Wow.
And it's, yeah. And the thing is instead of being all like jaded and disgruntled, he became like really grateful and like really like kind of zen. So episode 3, you're like listening to this long podcast style conversation. but you're like watching something that looks like Adventure Time.
That's really cool.
It's like an amazing show. I'm currently rewatching it. I'm almost done watching it for the second time.
I need to watch this.
Yeah,
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. It's called Midnight Gospel. It's on Netflix. I think I'm gonna do a video essay for it because I'm about to put up the first few video essays on Tall Skeleton, and I think it would be cool to do one on gospel just since it's like such a new thing. But
that's cool.
Yeah. Anyways, I feel like I'm talking too much right now.
No, that was awesome. I'm like super sold in that show. They need to hire you in marketing. That was great.
Yeah, no, like I've just been like telling everybody like you gotta watch this show.
I feel like Allery would love that too. I need to tell Allery about that.
I should tell Allery about. Dude, Allery is one of the very few people where when I told her about this Joe Rogan episode with this like sleep neuroscientist expert, because I tell everybody about this episode with
you told me about this too.
With Matthew Walker. He's this neuroscientist and he's an expert in sleep, and he basically explains how sleep deprivation is like America's largest national health crisis, and the CDC predicts that by 2060 like 21 million people will have Alzheimer's because the average American currently gets 6 hours of sleep, but any amount of sleep less than 7 hours is brain damage. So I tell everybody to listen to this podcast, and obviously normally when you tell somebody to listen to a 2-hour thing, they're not going to do it. Allery is like one of the 3 people, or like when I told her to, she like actually did. So shout out Allery. She got back to me. She was like, that was good.
Stuff like that just scares me, bro. It just, I mean, I know I should know, and I actually did listen to that as well. And
you too.
Terrifying.
Damn, 4.
Dear Lord. It is.
Yeah. Well, I really like listening to podcasts with scientists because, like, dude, I just get to listen to like a few hours of this guy like explaining how like my body and my mind work. Like I feel like I'm getting the secrets.
You're getting the juice, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's like some of that stuff can be scary, but then I feel like, okay, well, this stuff is real, so it's just, how do I choose to use this information?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like how do you channel it into your own life and make your own life better in the process? Yeah. And it's hard.
Totally.
Sleeping a lot every night is actually kind of hard to like get myself to go to sleep. So it's something I'm working on.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things he described in that episode is how like lifestyle choices of like what you do in the day affects the quality of your sleep, and how quality and quantity are equally important. So for instance, caffeine after 1 p.m. is now late enough into the day where it's already going to affect your sleep rhythms later. He explains how like screen usage upwards of 3 hours before sleep reduces your melatonin. So if you can not use your screens for at least 1 hour before sleep, that's good. Just things like that. And at first it's like, oh my God, how am I ever going to do these things? But then it's like, hey, like 1 hour at a time isn't even that long, really.
Yeah.
Like I can spend my last hour just like, putting away some dishes, folding some laundry, maybe meditate for 10 minutes, just take a shower. Eventually an hour has passed, you've had a good amount of time without some stimulus, and then you're ready to just kind of roll into sleep a lot easier than if you're just going from like, this and then trying to roll over, even though your brain was just like having this rapid fire, activity seconds ago. And I think that's like a big thing for people.
It's hard, man, because I edit all day, and then to relax, I watch a movie. So it's like everything involves the screen.
Yeah, my sleep schedule during quarantine was good for like a few weeks, and then the last 2 weeks I've been staying up way too late, and like especially as an editor, it's so easy to just keep plunging further into the night. Mm-hmm. But like today, I was getting some good editing done, and we can wrap up here soon, so you and I can both get back to editing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like something I've really noticed about myself is like, like when I do get like the right amount of sleep, and when I call it quits early in the day, and just do all the things I'm supposed to do, as long as when I'm working, I don't have like a bunch of side tabs open and videos open, and I'm just like focused on the thing at hand, it's like, they tell us doing these things are good for us for a reason. So it's like when you do them, they all kind of just like lock into place. And that's kind of why, like, when they run the numbers, the people who do these things do wind up more productive and more happy, and they live longer and stuff like that. So anytime I am like editing deep into like 3 a.m. or 5 a.m., like I got to remind myself, like, hey, even though I am getting ahead right now, if I can just sacrifice one night of this to fix it, then it'll be better on the other side.
Yeah, I think that's a good mindset, honestly.
it just can be so hard because, like I just said, like I've been staying up super late like the last like 12 days, and I just barely fixed it like today.
Yeah.
So,
I have a lot of those nights where I just really want to watch a movie, and I'm like, I'd rather just go to sleep, I guess. Just go to bed.
Dude, I have like a laundry list of movies I've been like wanting to not even see for the first time, but like rewatch. I've been super in the mood to like rewatch movies lately, and I haven't gotten to any of them.
I have a long list. I'm going to start a thing where I have a hat, and every time I think of a movie I want to watch, I put it on a piece of paper and I put it in, and every time I watch a movie, I just shuffle the hat.
Nice.
That's what I'm going to start doing, and I'm going to try and watch like 3 or 4 a week at least.
It's kind of like back when we didn't have streaming and you were flipping through the guide and you just had to watch like whatever FX had on. You're like, I guess it's Juno.
I guess I'm watching Fast and the Furious again.
It's Juno night. The thing
With
about
the
that
commercials. Oh,
yeah.
God.
The thing about that though is like it forced you to accept what you were about to watch for a while, and then
Absolutely.
Because of that, you became fine with it. And because of that, you also wound up watching more things. I get so much choice anxiety going through Netflix, I wind up not watching more stuff. It's so ironic.
Yeah, I just end up not watching anything because I can't choose what I want to watch.
Yeah, I'm just now watching season 2 of Ozark now that season 3 came out. And I was the guy telling everybody to watch season 1 when it came out.
My parents were watching. I haven't watched it yet, but my parents loved it. They watched the whole thing in the family room during quarantine and Breaking Bad.
Ozark's good as shit. Ozark, the opening, I'm not like about to like ruin stuff, but like the opening scene to Ozark feels like if you were thrown into Breaking Bad, but towards like the last 2 seasons. Because I know sometimes people who are critical of Ozark or who don't want to watch it, they're like, I've already seen Breaking Bad. But Ozark kind of feels like it really is its own thing. And I think a big reason why is because of the starting point and like the stakes of the starting point. Because like when you start Ozark, it feels like you're where Walt is, but like towards the end. And you're like, oh, we're starting from here? Okay.
You're like, holy shit.
Yeah. All right. We're just both talking about Netflix now, and we both have stuff to edit, so let's wrap this up.
I do have to edit.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming on. Sounds like you're gonna have some new episodes of something for us to enjoy sometime soon.
Hopefully, I'm hoping that in the next couple of weeks I can figure it out, and maybe even live stream it at the live episodes. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll figure it out.
All right, episode 10 with Nick Johnson. Shout out his own show, Nothing with Nick Johnson. And hell yeah, it's weird because you're not here in the room, so I have to hang up on you. I don't know how to end this.
I guess we'll just. All right, bye.
All right, bye.
Take care. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
You too.
Yeah, have a great one, dude. Bye-bye. I really hope it recorded right. I've never done this screen record shit.
I hope so too. I just hit stop. I'm gonna save.